Hey guys, Kyle Miller here with Mortgage Brokers Ottawa. So, I told you yesterday, everybody just chill, right? We had these changes and everybody's going crazy about call me, because, we're never going to be able to buy a house again. And not true, but definitely getting more difficult. So, what I want to do is, just kind of a short version of this and a little bit longer version. I'm going to try to cut it right in the middle. But I like to be very thorough, so you might have to hunker down for like 5-6 minutes so we can get through this and can give you an idea about exactly what's going on, kind of how it's happening, what's happened, where we're at, and maybe provide a little context for it. So, come on. So you can hear me. All right, so I think the best way to do this is to kind of give us all a quick history lesson and a little bit of context and get some terminology down so we know what the hell's going on, because this stuff isn't easy. It's not just let's go get pre-approved and rock and roll anymore. This is definitely a lot more intense than it used to be. So, I want to give you a little bit of context, want to give you some stuff that we got to worry about. All right, so here's how it works. Right now, what you gotta understand is that there's basically two types of mortgages out there. There's what they call an insured mortgage, and there's what they call an uninsured mortgage. So for an insured mortgage, what that is, that's when we're talking about CMHC mortgage default insurance, not just CMHC though, like there's Genworth, there's Canada Guarantee, there's 3 of them out there. They're all the same, they do the same thing, but any one of them that's insuring your mortgage because you've got less than 20% equity, you've got less than 20% down, you've got mortgage default insurance on your mortgage. So, you've got less than 20% down. If you want to qualify for a mortgage, what you do, all your numbers are based on this qualifying rate of 4.89%. They need to know that your lending ratios can handle all your payments and all your numbers based on 4.89%. You don't pay that, but you got to look like you can. So that's what happens there. That's fairly standard. That's been happening for, a long time. There's always been that rate, something like that there. Now, what this has now affected, these new changes, is this side of the game, uninsured mortgages. So what an uninsured mortgage is anybody that's got 20% equity or more, right? They didn't have to get mortgage default insurance or the lender paid for it on their side of things. Basically saying that even if it was there or not there, it didn't cost you any more money. Now, who's in that group? People that have 20% equity or more, so down payment or just regular equity, people that want to refinance, people that are buying rentals, and even people that want to purchase and have 20% down. So now, what it used to be is that you could actually qualify if you had a 5-year term. You could qualify on the rate that the 5-year term was at. So if it was at 3%, all your numbers would be based on 3%. Now what they've done is they're going and saying, well, you have to qualify at either 4.89 or the higher of 4.89 or whatever your rate is plus 2%, right? So that means if you got a rate right now of 3.29%, for your refinance, which is pretty good, you would actually have to qualify. All your numbers would have to work at 5.29%. So what does that mean? What it means is the fact that they're putting this stress test on everybody, right? It doesn't matter how good of a borrower you are. If you've got 20% equity, if you've got 50% equity, if you've got 30%, like 60% equity, it doesn't matter. They still need to know that your payments and that you can handle all your debts as well as a mortgage as high as whatever rate you're paying plus 2%. So well over 5%. So quick version of this is basically this. If you're buying a house and you've got less than 20% down, your life hasn't changed much. It's pretty much right where it is. People that want to get active in this market right now for the next 75 days are people over here, right? If you've got 20% equity and you're looking to refinance, if you want to buy a rental, or if you're buying with 20% down, you definitely want to have a look at where your numbers lie and whether or not it's going to make sense to push the envelope and do all your stuff now, or wait until after January 1st when the market's going to pick up again, and if you can qualify at that time. And all that takes is sitting down with your broker or your banker and going through your numbers. It's pretty much that simple, right? So yes, should you rush out and figure out your numbers? Yeah, you should rush out and figure out your numbers. You shouldn't necessarily rush out and buy. You shouldn't necessarily rush out and refinance. But you definitely should look at your numbers and see what you qualify for. You may find out everything will be fine. You may find out that it won't be fine. And that's where the key lies. Find out your situation and don't get caught up in the hype. We gotta be cool when this stuff happens. It's gonna always happen. It's continued to happen. For the last 7 years, this has been happening. And we're hoping this is gonna finally cool down now and we're just gonna be able to live our lives and work. But we gotta wait and see what happens. So again, to reiterate, if you don't act now, or you're looking to act now, what you're looking to see is where you lie on this spectrum, because effectively you've just lost, as of January 1st, you've just lost about 20% of your buying power, of your affordability, depending if you're refinancing or buying. And that's what you need to be concerned about. So that's where, as I said already, get with your broker, go over the numbers and find out where you fit at today's level and at January 1st level. And you decide what you want to do, right? It's pretty much how it's going to work. So I think one of the biggest disappointing things for me in all of this is the fact that they're attacking what I consider to be an asset, right? That's just my opinion. So if this is a rant, sorry, right? But when we look at this and they say things like debt levels have never been higher, that's true. House prices have also never been higher, and access to unsecured credit has also never been higher. I don't need to have $60,000 in credit cards. I really don't, but they'll keep giving them to me, right? And that's where I think the problem is. They can't regulate unsecured credit, but they can regulate this stuff. So that's where they're hitting us pretty hard, because that's one of the only ways they can make sure we keep our debt levels in check. So that is a bigger issue and a bigger conversation about credit and managing credit and all that stuff. Right now, this is the thing that we're dealing with. If you want to do that, by all means, contact me, phone, email, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. It's all there. You guys can reach out. We can go through your numbers and check everything out. If you've got anything happening from your mortgage between now and probably mid 2018, it's definitely a good time to look at things, because for a small penalty that you're probably going to pay, being, within a year, it very well could be worth your while to actually move the mortgage now, keep a low rate, and pay that and be able to afford it on paper, rather than wait and not be able to afford anything and get stuck taking a renewal. That's just not going to be as pretty. So I hope all of that clears it up, and that this all makes sense. And for any questions, comments, whatever, leave them to me, get them to me through any of the channels that we've talked about. And yeah, we'll see you on the other side.